Hello, everybody. So, congratulations, YouthWorks, for 25 years. That is nothing to shake a stick at to be in ministry, dealing with a whole bunch of crazy young people, a whole bunch of crazy youth leaders, and some ridiculously demanding, questioning community organizers and connections. So, congratulations for 25 years and like three buildings and a whole bunch of moves. Hey, you did it. So, high five. A lot of relationships don't even last 5 years. You lasted 25. High five to you. Anyway, my name is Traci Simmons. I am born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. I was a part of YouthWorks for 3 years. My first year was 2013. I was the site director. You see that? Queens 2013. I was the site director for Queens in 2013. I had an awesome four-person staff. It was the first time they did split housing, and the first time that they had five staff members. So that was an interesting experience. And then my second and third year, 2014 and 2015, I was the area director for Lynn, Massachusetts, Brooklyn, shout out to Brooklyn, and Queens. So I had the opportunity to pour into more young adults, more staff members, and more youth. And those 3 years taught me a lot. So what did YouthWorks do to prepare me for the future? I thought about this question a lot. So I can tell you three things that I think this kind of prepared me for. I think the first thing it prepared me for is what it really looks like to be the hands and feet of Jesus. YouthWorks will pull you. Do you hear me? It will increase your prayer life. It'll put you on your face. It'll make you do some participate in some email. Do you hear me? It will do something to your spirit. All right. Having 90, 70, 80, 90 people come up to your doorstep on a Sunday, trying to figure out where they're going to park, how you going to feed them, where you going to sleep them, and then having to get through all the things you have to do and do ministry and be able to get some sleep and make sure everyone's up at 6. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. All that really reminded me what it's like to really do ministry and what it's like to be in the hands and feet of Jesus. This is not for the faint of heart. And so as someone who has been in youth ministry for a while, I'm not new to this. It really stretched my way of looking at what ministry really is and what it's really like to be in the hands and feet of Jesus. Because there are Sundays, honey, I did not want to be the hands nor feet nor the body of Christ. You was going to see someone else. Let's be honest. And so it helped me and stretch that part of my ministry. The second thing it did, I think, it really helped me hone my managerial skills. Again, I am not new to being a manager. I'm not new to having a team, but having a team of young adults from various backgrounds, from various parts of the city and state, various parts of the nation, coming from different denominations, different walks of life. I had to find ways of finding a commonality of being able to teach and coach and love and prepare as a group, but initially and additionally, let me correct that, giving individual love. And that prepared me a lot to how I do youth ministry now. And I think the third thing it helped me do was really put in perspective what youth ministry and young adult ministry really needs to look like. It's bigger than just doing a Bible study. It's bigger than just worship. It's really about interpersonal relationships and how to build those. And so some of my most honest conversations came on the porch in Queens, in front of one of the buildings in Queens, literally sitting on the steps talking to a young adult, or some honest conversations while walking the Brooklyn Bridge in Brooklyn, or walking back from the showers in Lynn, Massachusetts with some of the youth. Those are some of my best conversations. I think my most impactful moment, if I can say two, even though the question is one, y'all be all right. I think I saw my funniest one. Every year, the church in Brooklyn, church in Queens, let me get my life right, has a picnic. And this picnic is is like the church's #1 outreach. They shut down the block. No one could come into the circle. They start prepping and cooking a week ahead of time. They're cooking like 300 pounds of chicken, hot dogs. You got like 6 grills. There's a DJ in the middle of the line. There's like set up for feeding like 200, 300 people. It is an endeavor. And it is probably the funnest week of YouthWorks. It is a headache to set up. It is crazy to get through and walk through other people with. It is nuts, but it is probably the most impactful moment of the summer for me, because you're able to see folks interact really honestly with the people of Queens. And seeing what this outreach really does for this church in the middle of Queens, in the middle, probably the hottest days in the summer. They have this huge DJ blasting music, half of a block away from Jamaica Avenue, and it is awesome. My second most impactful moment, really what changed that summer for me, was the summer of the shooting in South Carolina, in Charleston, South Carolina. So I think that was 2015. And the reason why that was so impactful for me, I was in Queens when it happened that week, and seeing the impact it had on my staff and the interesting impact it had on one of the churches that was there, and having to pastor my staff was rough. And I don't ever want to experience that again, to be quite honest, but it was rough. It was rough getting through that, but it also taught me a lot about what it means to have unconditional love, what it means to sit in an uncomfortable space and really mourn that someone was crazy enough to walk into a church and kill some people because they wanted to show him love on a Wednesday night. And the biggest other side of that impact was having folks that were actually there in Queens and in Brooklyn and not really understand why it was impacting us the way that it was. That some folks had to sit in that space and really be uncomfortable and really scratch their head like, that happens. And then there's the extreme opposite, which was me and my staff, of, dude, that can be any of us at any given time, in the middle of New York City. That was pretty impactful for me. And I think that really changed my life about how I look at ministry. So, want to go from happy note to a sad note. Maybe I should do the other way around. I just want to say congratulations, YouthWorks, on your 25th birthday. I want to give just some quick shout outs to all the folks who worked with my crazy butt for 3 years, who were some awesome area directors and some great site directors and some wonderful ministry partners that I was able to work with, that I still talk to this day, to all my staff that I worked with from 2013 to 2014 to 2015. I can't say staff, you are now my family, and I love you all dearly. So again, happy birthday, YouthWorks. Happy 25th birthday, YouthWorks. And hopefully we'll be seeing each other soon. I'm looking forward to see what the future brings. Have a good one.